Is Key, and some would say I'm obsessed with getting approved for credit cards. In fact, I've had well over 100 credit cards so far in my lifetime. Now, getting credit cards is the easy part, but knowing when you have too many cards and when it's time to cancel the right way is another story.
I'm Key, a credit card points and miles enthusiast and travel lover. On my channel, I discuss the mistakes I've made, my future travel goals, and overall credit journey since 2016. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already.
I've canceled 12 credit cards in the past 12 months without affecting my credit score. I'll talk about my strategies to cancel credit cards the right way, but first, here are the cards that are no longer in my credit arsenal. The $400 US Bank Altitude Reserve credit card, the $95 Wells Fargo Autograph Journey, the $95 Wyndham Business Earner credit card, the no fee Discover It credit card. Yes, I cancel cards that don't have an annual fee. The $395 Venture X credit card, the $0 Chase Freedom credit card, which is a Visa credit card, it's gone. The $895 Business Platinum credit card, the $0 Altitude Connect, and this was the business version of that credit card. And actually, it was $0 in the first year. It would have been $95 had I decided to keep it for year 2 and onward. And then also the $0 Choice Privileges MasterCard. Woo! This list is long, y'all. We got the $95 Chase Sapphire Preferred. And then lastly, we have 2 cards, and these were 2 American Express Business Gold credit cards at $375 a pop. Now, I talk about in another video my process around having multiples of the same credit card, so be sure to check out that video. I'll link it up above. This cancellations saved me $2,700 just on the annual fees alone. I've moved this money from my checking account over into my Fidelity investment portfolio where now I'll get gains on that for many years to come. So first thing I want to talk about is before I canceled those credit cards and had that savings of almost $3,000, I first sought out and sought retention offers. Ultimately, a retention offer is where you can call into a bank or use their online chat and seek, maybe compensation for the annual fee, or perhaps there's a slew of bonus points that they're willing to allot you because they don't want to lose you as a customer. Now, my exact script for when I call into a bank is this. My name is Key. I've been a customer of your bank since whatever year. I'll just say 2018 in this example. And then I say something like, this year, the annual fee posted at a really bad time for me. Are there any promotional offers or any way to reduce or waive the annual fee just for this year? And I just stopped talking. With the 12 credit cards that I decided to cancel, I either 1, didn't get a retention offer at all, or 2, I just made up my mind that I'm trying to slim down this portfolio, y'all. This, credit card holder, I'm trying to reduce this down so maybe my cards will eventually fit into a normal person wallet, and I don't have to have the box. After being rejected for retention offers on cards like the $400 US Bank Altitude Reserve or the $395 Capital One Venture X, the first thing I did was those annual fees did hit my account. So I was able to use the next year's credits, right? I knew I was going to cancel, but I was trying to get my most bang for my buck. So with my US Bank Altitude Reserve, yes, this card did get refreshed December 15th of 2025. My annual fee was slightly before then. So I was able to use my $325 credit, and that can be used on travel or dining. So I maximized that to the fullest. And then also I made sure to zero out, or I think I had like 10 points left in my account or something like that, zero out my altitude reserve points as well. I did this specifically. I just got some Uber and Lyft gift cards, and that triggered the real-time rewards on those cards. And I just wiped those charges out entirely. This would have counted for both my travel and or dining credit in addition to real-time rewards, but I had already used up all that travel and dining credit, that 325 that I mentioned before. Now, with the Capital One Venture X, that credit card comes with two things: 10,000 anniversary miles and also a $300 travel credit that you can use in the Capital One travel portal. Now, for the first thing, the 10,000 anniversary miles, unfortunately, these do not post in your account in a time period that allows you to still cancel and recoup that full $395 annual fee. So I forgave that for this year. Instead, what I did utilize my $300 travel credit in the portal. And ultimately, I did go ahead and I booked a trip to Minneapolis, Minnesota to watch the Boston Bruins play a game. So I used it for hotel, but I also used it for some rental car charges as well. So I need rental cars for 2 trips that I'll be taking later in 2026. So yes, I used my credit, even though it was in, I'll just say, October through December of 2025. I use that for future stays. And you can do that with any of these credits. You don't have to just book something within the current year. So that's what I did. I made sure I maximized all of my perks, all of my credits, etc. And then I kind of proceeded to this next step. Maybe that would have been asking for product change offers. So first, I asked for retention offers. Are they willing to waive that annual fee or give me a massive chunk of points? So similar to a welcome offer when you first get the card. And then if not, can I change my card? So I'll just say, can I change my US Bank Altitude Reserve into a Connect card, into a Cash Plus card, or one of the other $0 annual fee credit cards they have? Now, in both of those situations with US Bank as well as Capital One, with US Bank, I had no promotional offers to make a product change from that US Bank Altitude Reserve into another product. And then same with Capital One, unfortunately or fortunately, you're not able to do a product change if and when the annual fee has hit your account. So I would have had to do this maybe at the 11th month mark to make that product change. And I'm told with Capital One, I don't have experience with this, that you can make product changes well before 365 days are up. So something to consider for the future, but Capital One was one of my OG banks. So I already have, things like the Quicksilver and some of their other cards in their lineup, the $0 venture card that they have as well. So ultimately, I wasn't too hurt about this. So I just went ahead and proceeded to my next step. So rejection on 2 fronts. Number 1, no retention offer. Number 2, they said absolutely not on the product change. My final ask was about credit limit reallocation. Okay, so what that is let's just say my Venture X credit card had a $20,000 credit limit, right? Or whatever the amount is. I was asking if they would move that $20,000 or a significant portion of that $20,000 to, I'll just say, my Capital One Quicksilver card or another card that I'm currently planning on keeping in that family of cards. Now, again, faced another rejection in this fact, but especially with US Bank, but with other banks, I was successful. With Chase, with some of the other cards as well. With Wells Fargo, I was able to make those changes and reallocate my credit limits to other cards I had in that portfolio. So credit utilization and just, credit utilization is the biggest factor in your credit report. So by enabling and by utilizing the skills of reallocating your credit limit to another card, you're not changing that utilization percentage too much. Now, I know you've heard me say pay your, set up automatic payments so your bill's automatically paying month after month. You're not having to worry about things like this or paying interest if and when you're able to fully pay your accounts in full every month as well. But reallocating that credit limit is how you keep your credit score intact. So despite me canceling 12 credit cards in 12 months, my credit score has not been affected at all. But because I limit reallocation, this is really how you close cards the right way. You go through the steps of retention, product change, reallocation, maximizing the perks, right, before you even call in to the bank to do any of those steps. But then keeping your total number of credit intact as much as you can. They're not going to let you transfer, I'll just say all the way down to zero on the card you're canceling, but you can maybe get to, a $500 or $1,000 limit and move everything else over to another card. 2 notes before we let you go. Number 1, closing credit cards in good standing, meaning no derogatory marks or late payments or what have you. These credit cards or just credit in general, it stays on your report for 10 additional years. So all the cards I canceled were in good standing. So it's almost like I haven't even canceled these until, what is it, 2036? Geez, that's crazy. 10 years from now, because they were closed in good standing. So not only did I teach you how to keep your credit utilization intact, but you're also keeping your average age of accounts intact. If you're someone that is, constantly looking at your credit score or ways to optimize that, this is an important note. This is why I'm not afraid to cancel cards that don't have an annual fee, because I'm closing them in good standing and it's not hurting my average age of accounts in the long haul. All right. Number 2, if you do decide to close an account that is in a bad state, it maybe has some negative marks or what have you, late payments or just derogatory marks in general, this will actually hurt your credit score for up to 7 years. Even though you've gotten rid of the card, it's no longer in your possession. Maybe you've used one of these envelopes to send back, any metal credit cards or just cards you want destroyed in general. Again, 7 years is going to haunt you. This is going to be on your report. Those marks and those dings are going to affect you for any future credit applications and things like that. So something to keep in mind. If you set up and you employ the strategies that I talk about paying on time and in full, or at the very minimum, setting up automatic payments to just make sure you're setting and forgetting your payments, you'll be able to employ this strategy and have this help you for 10 years instead of haunt you for 7. Okay. How I want to end this is right now, I have 39 active credit cards, and I ultimately plan to kind of cut this by 50%, 50%. I'm trying to get down to about 15 or so credit cards by the end of 2026. And by no way is this the credit card end game for me. There are so many cards that I'm now re-eligible for, or I'm still eligible to get sign-up bonuses or what have you. So this is not my credit card end game. And even though I've had 100 credit cards, I don't even think I'm anywhere close to my end game. So I want to just be clear about that. My credit profile is rather thick. And what I mean by that, not only do I have the 100 credit cards, but I have things like my mortgage, auto payments. I've had loans in the past, personal lines of credit I have, as well as, HELOCs and things like that. So keep in mind, right, your credit profile isn't just credit cards. It is so many other things. It can be utility bills. It can be really anything, right? As long as it's reporting to that credit bureau. And I think that's important to keep in mind, because so many folks are afraid to cancel the first card they ever got because they think it's going to be entirely detrimental to your score. If, I'm in my early 30s, but if you're older than this, or especially if you're older than I am, right? You probably have a thick profile as well, where you have a slew of things. Maybe it's medical bills, utilities, student loans. I don't know, right? You could have all of those things on your profile. So just keep in mind, you're not going to be affected negatively if you're closing cards in good standing. It's actually going to be on your credit score, credit report for 10 years. Think about all the things that you're going to do in the next 10 years. Are you going to get a new car or a used car, right, and finance it? Are you moving? And just so many other things, right? But those on-time payments, that average age of accounts, that utilization is going to be limited in their negative effects if you follow all the things in this score. So, which cards do you plan to cancel in 2026? I challenge you to even consider ditching some cards that have no annual fees like I do, as long as you cancel the right way. Bye for now.